Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome back to another TOS video. So today we have a brand new ultimate stage. Right, so in this case, we're gonna show two teams, right, as usual, clearing 3 achievements. Right, so here we have our light only, 3 or more races, as well as only beasts. Okay, so the Malicious Intention. So in this video, we're gonna go 2 teams. So the first lineup would be, I think this is a better ally, Darlof. Right, so Darlof is going to be one of the more easy-going team, right, for this light achievement. Right, yes, I've got my Darlof. Right, so let's get started. So I think a few members here is going to be pretty important, right, for this particular stage. Right, so battle 1, we have 1 weathered runes. Right, and then take note that this weathered rune will be dealing 12,000 damage, right, upon contact. So you really do not want to touch it. Right, so here you can actually store your CD, right, because it's the weathered rune that is dealing a lot of damage. Right, this guy deals only 4.8k damage there. Right, so here I'm just gonna take a while to store up Colin. Right, so Colin is a CD5 card, so it's not going to take very long to be up and ready for use. So here, oh, there's a big chunk of dissolve. Right, and then there goes battle 1. Right, we can still store at battle 2, no problem. Right, we have permanent mass trails for battle 2. Right, so battle 2, what you can do for Darlof team, right, the first few runes are actually going to be generated enchanted light for you guys. Right, so you can technically know where the first 6 runes are, or what the first 6 rune is. Right, so here, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, screw it, just like this. And that's gonna take down battle 2. Right, so Colin's gonna be ready. Right, you need to have Colin on standby for battle 3. Right, so battle 3 here, we have first HP bar, we have laser runes together with 90% HP reduction. Right, so at this point of time, you want to try to kill it maybe in 2 turns. Right, personally, I'm not a fan of taking that 90% damage to the face. Right, so this will do, hopefully. Alright, and then battle 2, second HP bar is gonna be the problem. Right, so this is Tetris Shield. Right, this Tetris Shield is enchanted Tetris Shield. So whatever will fit in is going to have to be enchanted runes. Right, so this is where your Colin's going to come in to generate for you. Okay, so here we can do this. And then of course, for this, we cannot have runes adjacent to the frame. Right, so we're going to do these 2 sets of light runes. Hopefully we can kill it off. Ah, shit, barely. Okay, that's fine. Right, so we have to do 1 more spin there, which is gonna be this one. And that's simply gonna remove off the remaining part of the second HP bar. Okay, battle 4 of 7. Gonna be a neutralized reset, so those of you bringing like Novelis and stuff like that, you have to take note of the neutralized reset. Right, and then another mob that's going to give you 0 recovery upon its defeat for 3 rounds. Technically here, you want to store at least maybe 1 round or 2 rounds. Right, you want Colin to be ready. Right, so Colin, as mentioned earlier, is not going to be a difficult card for you to get to cool down. So here, you're just going to take down this stage and get that 3 turn of 0 recovery. Alright, so next we have Azathoth coming in with a convert, right, turning a random attribute into dark. Right, on top of that we have monochrome runes. So here we still have our light runes. Right, so we're just gonna make use of it and deal as much damage as possible. Okay, good, that's a 1-hit kill. Right, so next up we have our favorite, right, from Gimsa, Lucifer Nightmare stage, right, which is the light and dark shield, and excluding water, fire, earth. Right, the lower the HP, the higher the attack. So this is something you take note of as well. So on Colin, right, this is going to massively increase the amount of light runes on the board. Right, so here, this should be enough. Right, and that's going to take down Azathoth. Easy. Right, so next up, we have the Light Ethereal Dragon here, above 7 combos. So at times like this, we call upon the Downloff. Right, so Downloff here is going to give you increased combo, right, and as well as increased self-attack. So here we're going to go up this way. $15 combos. Right, so that's going to be easy peasy for this stage. Right, HP, not an issue, just the 7 combos. Alright, moving on, we have the Neutralize Reset once again. So take note, in this stage there is 2 Neutralize Reset, so not going to be an easy stage. Okay, so here, we're just going to activate our elf here, Mysorensis. Right, reason being, it's going to get locked for the second HP bar, so you have to use it here. Right, Pluma is going to give you 2 rounds of burst, right, so activate 1 here. Now, we have to spin this very carefully as this is a permanent sticky rune trail. Right, and that's going to take down the first HP bar. First HP bar is relatively weak in terms of HP, right, so all you need to be concerned of is the permanent sticky trails as well as the Neutralize Reset for some teams. Right, so you can see here, as I mentioned, Elf is being locked for my team. Right, so basically, the boss is going to lock active skill and attacks of God, Demon, Human, and Elves. After that, 3 Electrifying Runes. Right, so basically here, when your card's being locked, you cannot attack as well. So you need to bring unchaining skills like Brehilder, Bird Cage, as well as Seer Kenso from the King of Fighters series. Right, so here, you can on Ra to remove all the Electrifying Runes, right, and Downloff for the additional damage. Right, so here is basically game for this team setup. Right, so hit the compulsion for the additional damage boost. Right, so basically Downloff here is very, very stable in terms of achievement as well as a farming team. Right, so if you guys want to farm or have Downloff, basically this is your go-to team for farming this. Okay, and that's game for the first achievement. First team, 2 achievements. Right, so here, this team is going to fulfill the Mono-like achievement as well as the 3 or more races achievement. Right, basically Dragon, Beast, Elf. Right, there's a new personal record. I think that was a pretty fast run in terms of number of rounds taken. Alright, so with this, there's 2 achievements done. Right, I'm going to form the next team. I'll be right back. Alright, so second team of the day is Mono Beast, right, in which I'm going for the Lynx team. Right, so in general, this Beast achievement is not a walk in the park, right, regardless of what you're using, be it Lynx or a Druid team or whatever. Right, so it's gonna be the hardest, right, achievement out of the 3. So featuring Lynx here, we have Basti, Pegasus, the Mochi Bunny, as well as Baphomet. Right, so Baphomet is there for like the convert whenever needed, right? It's just like an emergency kind of convert. Basti is there for any high bursting scenario, right? We'll leave that for later. Pegasus, same thing, right? Just that with the expense of a bit of your HP every single round. And Mochi Bunny is pretty much a necessary card, right, to buff up the Lynx gameplay. So battle 1, we have the Weathered Runes once again. So what you want to do is to just spin and clear off the Weathered Rune, and then try not to damage too much of this mob, right? Get as many cards up as possible. So once Pegasus is ready, as well as the Mochi Bunny, try to activate them as soon as possible. Right, so this is to refresh the cooldown, so as when the Neutralize Reset kicks in, you can reactivate them again. So this is only applicable to Mochi Bunny. I think Pegasus will get reset in terms of CD. So Battle 2, we have a pretty much breeze through Battle 2 because of all the active skill activated, Mochi Bunny as well as Pegasus. Battle 3, here we will try to avoid that 90% HP reduction as much as possible, right? Plus, we have our self HP reduction, which is Pegasus, so we do not want to get any additional damage in our face. Okay, on top of that, we have Dragonic Compulsion here, right? Because the second HP bar have the enchanted Tetris Shield, as you guys seen earlier. So by running this Shadowfall Opalcraft, it's gonna enchant the full board, so we can actually deal with that enchanted Tetris Shield right there. So by using the craft here, you will need to pretty much store that craft once again for the boss. You definitely need the craft for the boss because of that bulky amount of HP for the second part. Right, so here, Tetris Shield. Depending on your board, right, you might want to use Baphomet. So Baphomet here is going to give you that full column of enchanted dark thanks to that craft that we use. So here with Pegasus activated, by now Pegasus should be around like times 4 or times 5 his personal attack. So that should settle the second HP bar of Battle 3. So moving on, we have our initialized reset, right? As I mentioned, Pegasus is going to be fully reset to its CD6. Yeah, CD6. And so what we have here is taking down that zero recovery mob here. So this is not going to affect us in terms of HP recovery, right? Which is why we settled that and then store on the CD3 light mob right here. So you can see as the debuff is still in play, we can still recover HP, right? Because our HP recovery is based on the amount of Dark Rune Sky Drop and not our personal recovery in the first place, right? Which is why Link's team is a very good choice, right, in terms of this ultimate stage. You guys can consider using Links if you have her. So not to stay here for too long, right, we're gonna move on as long as you see Mochi Bunny is ready and Pegasus is almost on his way to max, ready for activation. Right, so once again, Azathoth, Monochrome as well as the Dark Rose and Column Convert. So activate Mochi Bunny and spin to the best of their abilities. Right, so here is pretty much reliant on as much Sky Drop as possible. Right, the more Sky Drop you have, the faster you take down Azathoth. Right, for me, no Sky Drop, so a second spin is needed to take down his first HP bar. So one thing to note, as you spin the first HP bar, try to leave light runes on the board because of this stage, right? The light dark shield excluding water, fire, earth. Depending on your board, right, you might want to activate links. Right? I feel that activating links is gonna be the safer option. Right? Basti, I kind of activated Basti here because I wasn't sure whether I'm gonna make the kill or not. So Basti initially was planned to be used at the boss stage, right? Of course for the big burst, right? So links as well as Basti is gonna confirm the kill. Of course, you have to spin light and dark excluding water, fire, earth for the first batch, of course. And so we have a few Sky Drops there, and you can see Basti damage is enough to just wipe out the rest of the HP. So moving on, at this point of time I was thinking whether I should store my CD here, right? As at least we can get, you know, Mochi Bunny back up, or we can actually reuse Basti for the boss. But thanks to Mochi Bunny Sky Drop, right, that's more than 7 combos and then we are heading straight to the boss. So Link's team is a bit tricky, right? It's going to be tricky for Druid team as well. So here comes the initialized reset, which is going to affect both teams I mentioned earlier. So here with the, yes, permanent sticky trails, right, that's going to hinder a bit of our movement. But nonetheless, first HP bar is relatively low on HP. So here, really try to plan your movement before you spin, because you cannot go back and respin that combo that you have missed. Okay, and then try to take down the first HP bar. As you can see here, I'm kind of grinding down the HP. I'm looking at Pegasus, and I'm looking at my HP. Should I activate Pegasus? So at this point of time, if I do not heal, I will kind of die off, thanks, because of Pegasus. Right, so I did a Baphomet's Convert, so that's gonna give us at least a decent amount of HP recovery, and you can see I barely live with 400 HP, which is a dangerous bet if you want to call it. So here we activate our final Link's active skill. Right, so fortunately we have enough runes to dissolve all the electrifying runes. Right, so we have water, heart, and fire. So you can see, I think this is a pretty good spin by me, right? Yeah, just that. And that Sky Drop plus Compulsion. I know that the Sky Drop doesn't include Dark Runes, so you can safely say that no Sky Drop needed for this particular spin that I did. Right, so the Compulsion here, I equip pretty much a personal craft which increased beast attack all the way. So this is a basically all-out burst craft. So not sure, I think the normal craft should be more than sufficient. As you can see, this is pretty much an overkill. Right, with Pegasus activated. Right, and that will be it for the Mono Beast team. So Druid, I tried Druid before. Druid is possible to clear. Right, so I'm trying out Link's team, and then surprisingly I managed to make it through this ultimate stage. Right, so in my opinion, the Beast is really the challenging one. Right, I think it is worth it after you get the craft as a reward instead of like Dagger Wielder and stuff like that. Right, so you have the craft box is full. That's rare. Right, so let's take a look at the card. So this card here, I recommend you guys to farm at least one. Right, one will be good. And so what we have here is the active skill, explode all runestone to deal light damage to all enemies. First runestone drop in each column will be light runes, so basically have one row of light runes. So basically it's a 3 in 1 card, so you can explode all runestones that can clear weathered rune, that can clear electrifying runes, as well as dealing light damage to remove invisibility shield, and then drop a column of light runes for comfort. So it's a very good card. CD5, so I extremely recommend it you guys to farm this card. Right, so that's all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed these 2 gameplays. Leave a like if you did. As usual, see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.